The Monroe County Probate Court, an overview. Hi, I'm Darren Findling of the Probate Pro, and I'm going to explain the ins and outs of the Monroe County Probate Court. Let's get right at it. The Monroe County Probate Court is located at 106 East 1st Street in Monroe, Michigan, of course, in Monroe County. As reflected by the map, it's really in the heart of downtown Monroe, and as shown in the photo above, although it's a little bit set back from the main road, it's a really easy building to find because it's part of the larger municipal complex. Whenever going to a probate court, we urge you to get there early. Give yourself a chance to park, walk into the building, go through security, find your courtroom, and then just take a deep breath. We recognize that probate court can be an emotionally charged area. There is plenty of parking around the building. Although it is in the city area, you're going to make sure that you find the right type of parking, whether it's meter or long-term. The building is a secured building, which means that when you enter it, expect similar security to that which you'd find at an airport. It's really frustrating for people when they park their car, walk all the way to the building, only to learn that they had something sharp in their purse or in their pocket that requires them to return to their car. The Monroe County Probate Court, of course, handles probate and trust matters. To understand what brings you to a probate court or the county is to understand the distinction between venue and jurisdiction. Jurisdiction typically relates to the subject matter. So, for example, if you're involved in a bankruptcy matter, you go to the bankruptcy court. If you're involved in a divorce matter, you'd go to the family division of the circuit court. And if you're involved in a deceased probate estate, the administration of a deceased estate, you go to the probate court. Now, what brings you to Monroe County is dictated by the county in which that individual was domiciled before death. Now, if they lived out of the state of Michigan but had assets in that county, in Monroe County would then have jurisdiction and venue of that matter. For trusts, most of them are administered outside of probate court involvement. Now, there are times that within the trust itself, it's written in that the probate court must have supervision of the proceedings. But most trusts are not involved with probate court involvement unless there's a dispute. So, for example, if there's a dispute about the formation of that trust, the probate court would have jurisdiction. If there's a dispute about the way in which the trustee is handling and managing and administering the trust, or an interpretation question, or a dispute among the trust beneficiaries, the probate court would also have jurisdiction. The probate court has jurisdiction over guardianship matters. These involve the incapacity of an individual who is a resident of that county. So that's what dictates whether it's in Monroe County. Residency of a person who's unable to manage their own well-being or care. With conservatorships, also residency dictates the county. Conservatorship relates to their inability to handle their own financial affairs. The Monroe County community is really lucky, fortunate to have very experienced probate judges serving on behalf of the community. The chief judge is Cheryl Lohmeyer, and also Frank Arnold sits on the bench, and I was really fortunate to go to law school with Frank Arnold, a terrific human being. The Monroe County Probate Court has an extensive website at courtview.monroemi.org, or if you're just going to the Monroe site, it's monroemi.org. Now, what's nice about this is you can get access to court forms, so you can fill them out, review them in advance of filing. Also, information about filing fees, the various processes relating to guardianship, conservatorship, and deceased estates. Also, you can gain access to the public information within the file. So rather than having to drive down to the probate court, you can go to this court view area and actually see what information has been filed. In this particular case, I typed in John Doe into the public access and then hit the search button and found these cases that had John Doe reflected in them. Now, on the far right, where it says file number, you can see the case number, and those are hyperlinks. So if you click it, it will then provide additional information of the court docket of filings that have occurred. The Monroe County Probate Court most common questions relating to filing fees are reflected here. To open up various estates, guardianship, conservatorship, deceased estates, the filing fee is $175. For guardianships of a developmentally disabled person, there is no filing fee. Now that filing fee that I've reflected for deceased estates, for example, doesn't tell the whole story, because when you open up a deceased estate, you also have to pay for most likely publication in the legal news for creditors. You have to pay for a letter of authority, and then when you present or file the inventory, you're going to need to pay the gross inventory fee. And those fees can add up. So if you're unsure, contact the court or your probate attorney. The Monroe County Probate Court is really a busy court system. Most county probate courts are simply a reflection of the population upon which it serves. Each year, the state of Michigan does a caseload summary that identifies the volume of cases that have been filed in the court. In this case, in 2019, there were 302 estates that were commenced in the Monroe County Probate Court. And as you can see, 154 adult guardianships and 66 minor guardianships. If you look at the lower section, at the end of the year, there were 552 deceased estates or trusts that continued within the jurisdiction of the probate court, and 306 adult guardianships. A really busy court system, so recognize that when you go to interface with the court, that you're one of many files that are being handled and addressed within the probate court. At the Probate Pro, we're passionate about probate and trust issues. If you've got questions about the Monroe County Probate Court, give us a call at 833-PROBATE or visit us at theprobatepro.com.